All right, tonight we're not even through the year one of Joe Biden's presidency. Things are going so poorly that even Joe's biggest defenders in the media mob, they're jumping ship. Get this, in an article, Biden should not run again, and he should say he won't. New York Times columnist Bret Stephens is back, begging Joe not to seek a second term, calling him, quote, alarmingly incoherent. If you're a Democrat and someone at the New York Times calls you alarmingly incoherent, it may be time to pack it in. And meanwhile, the media arm of Biden's 2020 campaign, fake news CNN, they just published this article, 11 Democrats that could replace Joe Biden in 2024. They don't even want him to run again. Now, the piece heavily suggests Biden will not be capable of running for a second term. It lists 11 random Democrats who could take the lead on the ticket. Notably missing from the list is someone who no doubt would love another opportunity to be called Madam President. Without a doubt, the one and only Hillary Clinton is ready, willing to answer that call. And according to my next guest, well, media columnist Joe Concha, she might be their best hope. I don't think that's hope at all. Here with more, Joe Concha, Fox News contributor, along with Fox News contributor as well, Miranda Devine. Joe, when you really look at the list, Kamala, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, they're not exactly a deep bench of Democrats that you can look at this moment that I see and I say, uh-oh, I'd be worried about that one.
Sure. And two polls, Sean, tell the story, right? 22%, basically 1 in 5 voters say they want Joe Biden to run in 2024. Could you imagine that number with Donald Trump, where he was always up around 90% loyalty within his party? And then when you talk to Democrats, and I'm from Jersey after all, only a smidge over 1/3 want Joe Biden to be president in his second term. He'll be 86 at that point. So I wrote that Hillary column. And let me be clear, I'm not arguing that Hillary is a great candidate or likable or authentic or has any grounding principles. I'm saying the Democratic Party is, when you're talking about potential presidential candidates, is like a conference in the NFL. If that conference was made up entirely of, and I hate to say this, the New York Jets and Giants, because Hillary sees these opponents and says, well, wait a minute, what's going to stop me from getting the nomination? Kamala? Please, don't make me cackle. She's at 28%. Buttigieg, what's he going to run on? His performance as South Bend mayor or the supply chain crisis? Okay. Andrew Cuomo, he's not available for comment. Elizabeth Warren, how did she do in 2020? Bernie, he would be in his 90s at the end of his second term. CNN also offered Phil Murphy, the governor of my state here in New Jersey, who barely won re-election. Here, it's a deep blue state. Gretchen Whitmer, Stacey Abrams, who's hailed for claiming her election was stolen. Funny how that works. So, yeah, given all these versions of the New York Jets and Giants, why not Hillary as the Democratic nominee when you consider the competition?
Miranda?
Yes, Hillary, so she can lose again spectacularly. I mean, look, I think that was a hilarious column, Joe, and it certainly makes people interested to think that Hillary might come back. And you're right. I mean, the rest of the Democrat field seems to be pretty lackluster. But I think that's because they're not listening to the people. I mean, the only reason that Joe Biden was voted in last time was because he was presented as a moderate, as a unifier. People are crying out for some sort of unifying president without really realizing that that's a mirage. So maybe if the Democrats repudiated their progressive, their radical stances, I mean, in the primaries, it was incredible. All the ideas like stacking the Supreme Court and abolishing the Electoral College and so on, these were all mainstreamed by those candidates. The Democratic Party has been pulled so hard to the left that it's become unelectable.
Unbelievable. If Donald Trump he just has to sit back, let them continue to fail, then make an announcement that he's going to reinstate all the other policies that he had when he was president. I wouldn't do a single interview if I was him. He doesn't even have to do a debate and just show up and pick up the keys from Joe on his way out. It would be that easy. Thank you both. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.